Let's cut through the noise. There are countless videos speculating about Gypsy Rose Blanchard and Ken Urker's relationship, whether they're still together, the truth about their split, and the suspicious details surrounding Gypsy's current scandals. But here's the thing, most of those stories only scratch the surface. They repeat the same claims, skim through the drama, and leave you with more questions than answers. This video, it's different. We've looked deeper through the leaks, the photos, the messages, and the connected dots that others haven't even noticed. What we found isn't just about a couple breaking up. It's about manipulation, lies, and a narrative that's being carefully constructed by Gypsy Rose herself. The truth, Gypsy and Ken are no longer together, but instead of letting the relationship end quietly, Gypsy is dragging Ken back into her chaos, weaving him into a story that's full of cracks. So why is she doing this? What does the evidence really tell us? And most importantly, what is she trying to hide? Let's break it all down. Let's start with something everyone's seen. The festive photos Gypsy shared during Christmas. At first glance, these pictures seem harmless. They show Gypsy and Ken together celebrating the holidays, but when you take a closer look, something doesn't add up. For one, Ken's legs are mysteriously absent in one photo. Now, you might think, okay, maybe it's just a bad angle. But when you pair with other inconsistencies, like Gypsy's head placement not matching the background or Ken's supposed position, it becomes clear that these photos are anything but natural. The shadows in the images don't align with the light sources, and certain objects around them appear distorted, as if hastily edited.
So Christy posted this, but where's Ken's legs? Also posted this, and I want you guys to look very carefully around Gypsy Rose's hair, like above the top of it. I don't know, something looks odd. But I was like, this is possible because she allegedly left Lake Charles on Christmas Eve. Now, the source that I got this from isn't a source that I have used before, but a lot of the things that they said to me gave merit. But again, that's why I was very specific in saying it was alleged. But then someone messaged me this. Actually, not someone messaged me. One of my mods sent me this. And I feel like this says a lot that she was with Ryan.
Even more curiously, Ken's facial expression looks oddly out of place, like it was lifted from another photo entirely. These details suggest a level of editing beyond just simple touch-ups. There was an intent here. Think about it. Why would someone go to the trouble of editing holiday photos to make it look like they were together? The answer is simple: appearances. Gypsy wanted people to believe that everything was fine, that she and Ken were still a happy couple. But the reality is far from it. Here's a kicker. During this same period, Ken was reportedly in Texas. If he wasn't even physically present, these photos are more than just misleading. They are part of a deliberate effort to sell a narrative that isn't true. Adding to this is the timeline of social media activity. While Gypsy was posting these festive photos, Ken's own accounts remained silent. No corroboration, no shared images, no matching festive posts. If they were really celebrating together, wouldn't Ken have shared something as well? This absence from his side only deepened the suspicion that these images were staged for public consumption rather than capturing real moments. Now, let's talk about Ken's role or lack of thereof in the TikTok hacking drama. Gypsy claimed that Ken tried to negotiate with the hacker to buy back her account. According to leaked messages, he allegedly offered $200 to $500.
The person who hacked Gypsy's account doesn't appear to be from the United States, or at least they're speaking in a different language. Apparently, Gypsy fell for one of those email scams where you get an email stating that you can get verified and get the blue check mark, and then you click the link that they sent you, and then they have control over your account. They made a post to Gypsy's TikTok story saying that the account was for sale for $500 and that you could pay via PayPal or crypto. Now, this is a message that is allegedly Gypsy sending a message to this hacker where she says, "I will be calling TikTok and getting my account back." They reply, "Hi, if you pay money money, I will give your account. Please? ? Hey. Gypsy replies, there are better ways than this. The person says, I promise you, I will give account. Gypsy says, how did you hack the account? Was it the verification email for the blue badge? They reply, yes. Can you give me $400 PayPal? Gypsy replies, honestly, you can keep it. I was just gonna delete it in a few months anyways. If I can get it back, it would be great. If not, whatever. They say, you don't have $400? Gypsy replies, I'm an expecting mother who is 9 months pregnant. Everything I have is budgeted towards my child and bills. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not a millionaire. I'm sorry, but I won't give you the money. And then, like I said, the person who has control over her account keeps doing live streams, and people are actually sending gifts, and they're inviting only females on panel. The lives basically consist of the other people on panel telling this person to give Gypsy her account back and telling people to stop sending gifts because it's not Gypsy.
But here's the thing. Ken hasn't said a word about this. No public statements, no confirmation, nothing. And that silence, it speaks volumes. If Ken were truly involved, wouldn't he have addressed the situation? Wouldn't he have stood by Gypsy, at least publicly? During such a chaotic time, his absence suggests one of the two things. Either he's deliberately distancing himself or he was never involved in the first place. But there's more. Ken's silence is not just about this hacking incident. It aligns with a broader pattern of behavior we've seen in recent months. He's been noticeably absent from Gypsy's narratives beyond this scandal, with no corroboration of her claims from his side. Even during major moments, like supposedly holiday celebrations, Ken's social media accounts remained inactive and completely detached from anything Gypsy was posting. What's more likely is that Gypsy is using Ken's name to give her story credibility. After all, a united front looks stronger. By mentioning Ken's supposed actions, she attempts to create the illusion of a partner who's still invested in her life. But when you dig deeper, it becomes clear that Ken's role in this drama is almost entirely fabricated. And let's not ignore the optics. Ken's refusal to publicly acknowledge Gypsy's claims or participate in her narrative suggests that he's intentionally avoiding any association with her chaos. Whether it's an effort to maintain his own peace or to silently signal the end of their relationship, his silence underscores the growing distance between them.
I do want to go back to this picture one more time because I want you guys to really pay attention to her stomach. When you're 36 weeks pregnant or 9 months pregnant, your stomach does not shrink like that when you're sitting. And in fact, when you're sitting, it protrudes even more. So my question is, did Gypsy already have the baby and maybe Ken came for the baby's first Christmas? Or is Ken there at all because his leg is missing right here? Where's his leg? Something isn't right. I don't know what it is, but something is not right. I also noticed that her hair is blonde and her hair was brunette. So are these older pictures that were taken right after Thanksgiving? I do know that Ken was in the bayou filming parts of last month. So is this like pre-pictures? I don't know. And at this point, I feel like I'm doing mental gymnastics as far as her being pregnant. Like maybe the baby was already born. Maybe something happened to the baby and the baby never actually got here and will never get here. Something's wrong and I don't have the answers, but I do know this. Something's not right. And Christy is good for gaslighting and Gypsy is too. And the one thing Gypsy Rose Blanchard wants to do is always prove me wrong.
This isn't just about one incident. It's a part of a larger picture that reveals a man slipping back while Gypsy desperately tries to pull him in. Now, let's get into the leaked messages because they are where the cracks really start to show. One of the most telling moments comes from the leaked messages between Gypsy and Ryan Anderson, where she allegedly proposed a face-to-face meeting. In the message, Gypsy suggested meeting at a neutral location, such as a coffee shop, to discuss unresolved matters. While this might seem like an innocent attempt to clear the air, the timing raises eyebrows. These messages were exchanged while Gypsy was publicly portraying a strong and stable relationship with Ken.
Now, if you remember, we already saw the top half of this message after Gypsy sent it to her friend Bree on this app and allowed her to share them. However, we did not see this new message. And the person who took over her account is from a different country and the dates are going to be a little different here. But Gypsy messaged Ryan and said, "Hello, Ryan. I was wondering after court on Monday, would you be open to having a sit down face-to-face with me? There are some things I would like to say in person. We can go to a coffee shop or something away from the chaos. I can assure you my intentions are honorable. I have had many months to reflect on the way things happened, and I would understand if you would say no, but I wanted to make the first move towards true healing. As we know, Gypsy recently had a divorce court hearing, so I'm assuming that this was around the same time, and we learned that Ryan actually didn't go to the court hearing, so who knows if they actually had this face-to-face meeting or not.
Adding to the intrigue are other leaked messages involving Ken. One notable example is December 18th, where Gypsy reportedly sent a direct message mocking Ken's appearance. This particular message included a sarcastic comment about men who lie and cheat going bald early. This statement aimed at Ken highlights the simmering tensions in their dynamic even before TikTok hacking scandal. The message not only shows disrespect but also suggests growing frustration within the relationship.
They also shared some previous messages where Gypsy and Ken have corresponded together. It looks like Gypsy sent this video to Ken and said, "I hope you are as caring as her man is." And Ken replies, "Okay, sweets." Top, Ken is saying, "Let's try some." I don't know what he's replying to. Gypsy sends a video and writes, "Memories, LOL." And the video is from the Life After Lockup show, and it says, Christy tells Gypsy why Ken broke up with her. And then it doesn't look like we have a reply from Ken. And then Gypsy sends another message saying, "This is effing awesome." And it looks like she sent a video.
The timing of these messages is especially significant. December 18th marked a point before the hacking incident came to light, making it clear that issues between Gypsy and Ken had been festering long before the public drama unfolded. These private exchanges expose an emotional discontent that contradicts the ununified front. Even more revealing are the messages where Gypsy appears to acknowledge lingering emotional ties with Ryan. In one message linked by the hacker, she reminisced about aspects of their past, adding complexity to her already convoluted narrative. This revelation directly clashes with her claims of moving forward and focusing solely on her relationship with Ken.
Oh my gosh, we have more new messages allegedly between Ryan Anderson and Gypsy Rose Blanchard. And it seems like this may be a continuation of the last conversation we saw, so if you didn't see my video on that, go back and watch that first. So Ryan Anderson says, "Baby, you can do that. Just get the money off first before you do anything so you don't lose it." Gypsy, "It seems like that's all you care about, Ryan." Ryan, "It's not, Gypsy. That's just crazy for you to leave all the money in there that your supporters gave you. I'm sorry, baby. We can have coffee, OFC. Are you going to leave Ken anytime soon? I know you said don't rush things and let it fall into place. I want to be there when my baby is born." Gypsy, "I'm just giving it time and slowly coming off of social media so it doesn't get out as quick because they already found out that the DNA test wasn't adding up, and most importantly, the month that I got pregnant. I don't need everyone in my business, and before you know it, it will be on all the T pages." This is the second screenshot. He scribbled these out, not me. Gypsy says, "Remember when I told you Ken checked my messages?" Ryan, "Yes. Can't you just hide them? You know I work and TikTok is supposed to get banned. A fake number would work to message me and just tell Ken it's your cellmates. Wouldn't that be smart, Gypsy?" Gypsy replies, "You're always calling me, blowing up my phone. Just be patient. I'm so tired of all of this." Like, I don't know, guys. I really don't know.
These linked exchanges emphasize a significant emotional rift between Gypsy and Ken. Her public persona, a committed, stable partner, is at odds with her private admissions, which reveal confusion, unresolved feelings, and inability to fully invest in her current relationship. Adding to the sarcastic tone of her remarks about Ken further undermines the perception of a solid bond. This isn't just about Ken anymore. It's about a broader pattern of running from accountability, of shifting blame, and of using relationship to mask deeper issues. Gypsy's private words and public actions are worlds apart. And this contradiction exposes a deeper truth about her current state of mind and intentions. Let's shift gears and talk about Ken's location because it's a big piece of this puzzle. Reports confirm that Ken has moved back to Texas. While Gypsy continues to mention him in her stories, his physical absence during key moments like the hacking scandal tell us everything we need to know. Even more revealing is the stance of Ken's family, particularly his mother, Miss Rayner. She has openly criticized Gypsy, calling her manipulative and toxic. Miss Rayner has even warned that Gypsy's influence could harm Ken in the long run. These criticisms aren't new. They've been simmering for months, with Miss Rayner expressing concerns about how Gypsy's behavior might derail Ken's future and mental health. Ken's move to Texas wasn't just about geography. It was about reclaiming stability and peace. Sources close to Ken suggest that the move was deliberate, signaling his desire to distance himself from the ongoing drama Gypsy seems to attract. By relocating, Ken has created both physical and emotional space, making it clear that he's stepping away from the chaos. When you pair this relocation with his silence, it's clear that Ken is done with this relationship. His refusal to engage publicly or respond to Gypsy's continued mentions of him underscores his intent to move forward. This isn't just a case of someone needing space. It's a definitive break from a situation that was spiraling out of control. And let's not forget the timeline of the event. Ken's absence during key moments like the holiday season and the TikTok hacking scandal is no coincidence. While Gypsy worked to maintain a narrative involving Ken, his actions or lack of thereof tell a story of their own. Every step he's taken suggests a man actively removing himself from a relationship that no longer serves him. Despite all this, Gypsy keeps bringing Ken into her narrative. During the TikTok hacking scandal, she mentioned his car being vandalized and Christmas gifts being stolen. According to her, the incident happened while Ken was at a casino, making it sound like a chaotic and unlucky night for both of them. On the surface, these details seem minor, almost incidental. But when you step back, they reveal a bigger strategy. Gypsy's repeated reference to Ken in this context seems carefully planned. By involving him in her personal drama, she crafts a narrative that suggests they are still connected, that Ken is still involved in her life, even amidst the chaos. Gypsy wants people to believe that Ken is still a part of her life. Why? Because it bolsters her story. It creates an illusion of the supportive partner, one who is caught up in a whirlwind of her struggles. This narrative helps her deflect scrutiny and creates a sense of solidarity that might even win her sympathy. Ken hasn't corroborated any of these claims. His silence and physical absence make it clear that Gypsy is the only one keeping this narrative alive. Whether it's by including him in stories about vandalism or using his name to add weight to her hacking ordeal, Gypsy's attempts to involve Ken feel more like a performance than a reflection of reality. It's a strategic move, but one that becomes increasingly transparent as the inconsistencies pile up. So what's the takeaway? The evidence is overwhelming. From linked messages to faked photos, everything points to one conclusion. Gypsy Rose Blanchard and Ken Urker are no longer together. But instead of letting the relationship end quietly, Gypsy is trying to keep Ken in her story, using him as a shield, a prop, and a way to deflect from her own actions. The truth is becoming harder to hide, and as this saga continues, one thing is certain: Gypsy's carefully crafted narratives are beginning to unravel. Let us know your thoughts below, and stay tuned for more deep dives.